And so, I've been thinking about time lately, and I've got a lot to say about it because I've come up with a theory that can probably change the course of Myanmar's future and fix maybe the only thing that we have left to fix in order to become a top country. Ladies and gentlemen, may I present to you an E.Y.E theory of time, and it's based on a core that is none other than punctuality. Stop being late. Don't be late. Do you know that if you're late for something, it is stealing? Stop stealing other people's time. Time is money. They could use that time to do other and more valuable things. If you wouldn't think of stealing $3 out of other people's pockets, you shouldn't think of stealing 3 minutes from their time too. So I have a lot of experiences with people who don't keep their promises and are always late. And these two things annoy the living daylights out of me. And they always have good reasons or excuses. Firstly, for meetings and appointments, I want to state the very fundamental purpose of setting up a time. The point is for you to simply arrive by that time. If you've accepted an appointed time, you have to show up by or before that time, or otherwise, what else? There is no point in setting up a time whatsoever in the first place. Now, everybody who is marching in or new in their work-life experience in Myanmar, listen up. At every workplace, you'll see a lot of those people who don't keep their promises to be timely or punctual, except maybe in Japan. I've had some horrible experiences where my very important work was postponed and sabotaged by strangers, colleagues, my close friends who I considered very smart, working professionals, and big names, and I was left in misery and shock many times. It's like one American teacher/mentor once told me, you know, student life is much easier than work life. Because once you pass student life, you have to prepare your mind for the crazy. The world is full of crazy out there. Now I get it. For me, most of the craziness comes from when I have to work with the 30 people. Now I'll prepare you for the worst case scenario. Are you ready? You can afford being late. Your work is time-bound and important. And late people put you in that powerless position where you can't do anything much to fix a situation because you can't contact them. You try to rush them and at least ask what's happening with them, but they suddenly disappear on Messenger and can be contacted by phone or email, leaving you with a ton of crippling stress. Do you know how that feels like? You trusted your job with them, but they break the trust, and without giving you a reason or warning why beforehand. So you can opt out to cut work with them, go to another person, and prepare not to lose your mind in advance. I can't. Don't you think everybody deserves to have their time respected at least? Respect other people's time. Stop the tardiness. All of that made me realize why companies need to have contracts in place so you can sue these people. Might be necessary. That tardiness and overestimation of one's worth go hand in hand. Maybe you think you're worth the wait and the confusion, but no. People will be glad if you're late when you finally show up, like, oh, you arrived, but they'll be even gladder if you arrive on time. If you're late, you're late. Simple as that. And you cannot give the time that you caused other people to lose back. So time is worth way more than money. For people trying to simplify life, tardiness rarely gets in the way. People don't like it and will assume your reasons of being late. Like, oh, maybe he doesn't care about other people's time and concern. So it's not good for your social life. If my students are 10 to 15 minutes to half an hour late for class, they miss the first half of the class. And it's obviously their loss because they have to pay the fees monthly in advance. Why did you accept the given class hours if you knew they weren't going to work for you in the first place? You're wasting your time and hurting my experience. Do you think I enjoy late students coming in and cutting in the middle of my classes? Being punctual can show you're dependable, and your humility builds your self-confidence and show that you're at your best and in control of your life. If you're not punctual, it can strain your relationships with other people, hurt your professional career, and take a toll on your life, as it usually stems from incapable time management, disturb the experiences of other people, and hurt your integrity. You can obviously see the contrast and the two big pictures that I'm trying to show you if every one of us were punctual versus not punctual. Please do not make the latter come true. The more 30 you are, the more all of us will be left behind. And Myanmar is already very behind, so we need fast improvement. Well, there I opened up on my number one and most valued characteristic in a person, punctuality. Please, please, please choose to be and be punctual. Thank you. See you all next week.